Since signing the Memorandum of Tourism Cooperation in 1994, Vietnam and Indonesia have promoted many bilateral cooperation projects in this industry. Tourism promotion activities are regularly organized between the two sides to exchange information and learn the experiences of tourism development. According to statistics from Vietnam National Administration of Tourism, in 2018, there are 87,941 tons of Indonesian tourists coming to Vietnam, an increase of 8.5% compared to 2017. According to the general assessment, the number of passengers passing between the two sides is not commensurate with the potential. Therefore, connecting travel businesses to conduct a survey, promote and introduce tourism products to tourists, enhance visitor exchange is an activity to be promoted in the coming time. It is expected that in 2019, Indonesia and Vietnam will organize farm trip delegations, a form of tourism to learn, familiarize and market tourism so that Vietnam tourism enterprises can learn more about the tourism market of Indonesia, contributing to promoting Indonesian destinations and people with Vietnamese people. At the same time, introducing Vietnamese specialties and dishes to the Indonesian people. Greetings from Trang Vietnam on VTC10 Net Việt. In today's show, let's talk about the cooperation between Vietnam and Indonesia in tourism industry. And the guest speaker in our program today is Mr. Ambassador of Indonesia to Vietnam. Thank you for joining our program today. The first question is after a period of time living and working in Vietnam, what can I say about the socio-economic development of Vietnam?
I'm lucky that I came here in the early year of 2016. At that time, it was the change of the government to the current government. And since then, I could see that the economic development of Vietnam is very much growing very high and very fast. I believe 2016 it was around 6.5, and then 2017 6.8, and then last year it achieved more than 7%. So it's very impressive in terms of economic growth, and I believe also your total trade also growing very much. Yeah, it's almost achieved 500 billion US dollar, I think, the total export and import, and most of the goals of the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, you achieve, and then I believe that you also can achieve all the goals of the MDGs, the Millennium Development Goals. So congratulations.
What about the tourism industry in Vietnam? What can you say about the development of this industry?
I think for the tourism is also very much impressive. Last year, 2018, you achieved, I believe, 15.6 million foreign visitors coming to Vietnam. And I believe the growth is almost 20%. So it is also very impressive. Vietnam as an emerging economy, you could attract people coming because you have beautiful destinations, but also good infrastructure, and peoples are very welcoming. So those elements, and also Vietnam is also considered cheap, reasonable price. So those elements add to each other and then makes Vietnam is very, very much exciting for the foreign tourists coming.
Vietnam and Indonesia are said to have many similarities in terms of culture, geographical position, and also the favorable conditions for developing the tourism industry. So do you think that the cooperation between the two sides in tourism industry is commensurate with the inherent potential?
Basically, Vietnam and Indonesia, from my own observation, it is basically the same. Although Indonesia has slightly longer period of experiencing economic development, but I believe Vietnam in a shorter period you can achieve the same level of development in Indonesia, And I can see that from the economic growth, the number of investment, the number of tourists. So the similarities is that both of our countries, we are all emerging countries. And then number two, this at the same time we achieve a stability, yeah, stable and also the relatively high economic growth. But of course, Vietnam is very impressive with the average of 7%. Indonesia is around 5%. But both provides, a stable economic atmosphere. And both are also member of ASEAN, which is important. So I'm confident that by 2020, we can achieve the target of 10 billion US dollar.
Over the years, there has been some cooperation signing between the two sides in order to boost the cooperation of the two countries. So can you share with us about this cooperation?
We do have a cooperation in terms of MOU, yeah, between Indonesia and Vietnam. And we do also have the new work plan that we just recently signed for the last 2 years. However, the number of direct flights still limited. We only have one direct flight, which is between Ho Chi Minh City to Jakarta. Fortunately, thanks to Vietjet, yeah, there will be another flights from Ho Chi Minh to Bali, which will start early this year. And also, we encourage another airlines from Indonesia also to open up a direct flights, again between Jakarta to Ho Chi Minh. And then in the medium term, I would like very much to see the possibility of having direct flight between the capital city of Hanoi and Jakarta as the capital city of Indonesia. Hopefully between 1 or 2 years, we can achieve that.
Promoting tourism strength is always an activity that the government of Indonesia has focused on in recent years, with the aim of becoming an attractive destination of Southeast Asian countries, including Vietnam. Indonesia's provinces and cities have continuously organized programs to introduce their local tourism products. According to 2017 statistics, in East Java alone, more than 600,000 visitors are welcomed each year, headed by tourists from Malaysia, Singapore, China, Taiwan. The number of Vietnamese visitors to East Java is over 1,200 people.
We have a problem with, about the connectivity because we don't have a direct flight from Vietnam, Laos, Myanmar, and it's direct to Surabaya. So we hope from East Java government next year will grab Indo-China market. We will promote about fan trip maybe. We invite media or travel agents from Indo-China market coming to East Java, and then fan trip, and then tabletop meeting in East Java. So I think it's better and more effective for grabbing Indo-China market, I think.
Vietnam is already popular for Indonesian. There are a lot of Indonesians going to Vietnam, especially to Halong Bay. Halong Bay is one of the most popular places for Indonesians to go to. Yeah. Well, the plan is, I think, from ASITA, we will lettering the association in Vietnam. I believe there is a VISTA, so we will work together to increase the tourists coming from Vietnam and also from Indonesia.
Indonesia is the fourth populous country in the world with more than 245 million people. According to market research from Vietnam Travel Association, Indonesian tourists often come to Vietnam in the form of MICE tourism. Veterans visit the old battlefields, food tourism, pilgrimage tourism, individual tourism programs. In the coming time, Vietnam needs to invest in developing services, infrastructure, tourism products and training tour guides who speak Indonesian to attract more Indonesian visitors to Vietnam. Recently, a tourism promotion program of Indonesia was held in East Java, Indonesia for several days. So can you share with us about the experience of organizing the similar events here in Vietnam?
I think we call that program is a familiarization trip, or we can say it a fam trip program. So we do have this regular fam trip program every year. Every year we send around 3 to 4 times groups, yeah, basically from Vietnam to Indonesia. Like the last one, as you just mentioned, we sent the group from Vietnam to East Java and Bali, and this year we also will do the same. On the other hand, I spoke to VNAT, your agency, Vietnam National Administration for Tourism. Yeah, they will also have a fam trip like that. So usually they send tour operators to Indonesia, and then later on, around 4 or 5 months later, they will sponsor the tour operators of Indonesia to visit Vietnam. So I think that's a good idea, and then we are fully cooperating with them. Why? Because we consider this activity is very important to increase more people-to-people contact.
What is your expectation for the future cooperation between Vietnam and Indonesia in tourism industry?
Number one, I believe you have to have more direct flights. With Indonesia, you only have one, yeah. So we have to have more direct flights, because when you have direct flights, then it means that you can have more people coming. Number two, yes, we have to promote, yeah. When you have direct flights, you have to promote the destination. What is the characteristic and the uniqueness of a certain destination? To Hanoi, then you can experience Old Quarter, Ha Long Bay, Chang'an, yeah, and then several destinations in the Hanoi city. To Indonesia, plenty of destinations, not only Jakarta. You can go to Borobudur in the central Java, is the biggest. So I believe that we should cooperate, yeah, between Vietnam and Indonesia. Why? Because especially tourists coming from far away, like from European countries or even Russia or American continents, when they visit Vietnam, I believe they also want to visit other places. So we should be able to offer those other destinations. For example, they already visit Ho Chi Minh. Oh, this is just 1 hour flight, yeah? Or 2 hours flight to Bali, for example. So they can go to Bali immediately. The same time, yeah. At the same time, foreign tourists in Bali, yeah, they arrive in Bali. Oh, there is a direct flight going to Ho Chi Minh. Oh, I want to experience Ho Chi Minh to see Vietnam. So it will be a win-win situation. So we have to expand direct flight. At the same time, we have to promote the destinations and the package.
Once again, thank you for joining us and for your sharings today. And that's all we have for this episode of Sang Vietnam today. For comment and feedback, don't hesitate to write to us at sangvietnam@netvietttv.net. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.